Jurassic Park 3 is a movie that I really disliked from the first time I saw it. So much of it felt like a hollow, empty experience. The Lost World could already barely hang on to Jurassic Park's hefty shoulders, while Jurassic Park 3 just falls right off the cliff. It didn't take itself seriously enough, it was riddled with weak elements,
Alan!
and I wrote it off as a disgrace to the entire franchise. But that's all in the past. Now I'm going to analyze Jurassic Park 3, looking at 3 of its weaknesses, but also 3 of its strengths. That's my way of being objective. This is the good and the bad in Jurassic Park 3. But since I've had such a negative feeling towards this movie for years, I've got to start on the bad side. So weakness number 1 is how meaningless this whole movie feels. The first 2 movies were built on heady themes and rich characters. This one is a simple-minded monster movie, which isn't necessarily bad by itself. The problem is this is still a Jurassic Park movie. It's got the weight of this franchise's legacy on its shoulders, so I can't help but ask, was this really necessary, especially when the plot basically comes down to a misunderstanding?
He said we needed someone who'd been on the island before.
I have never been on this island.
That was Isla Nublar, this is Isla Sorna.
I think on the surface that works. It's kind of funny, and yeah, these parents want their kid back, but there's a shallowness to this plot that feels beneath the series. Like, there are very few conversations that stand out in this film because the drama is so straightforward. There's no real depth because it's just trying to be a creature flick. And I get there were production problems that led to this movie having a new script 5 weeks before production began, and that's why the story is super simple. But if you're gonna have a creature flick, I want more deaths, and definitely someone from the main cast has to bite it. But who dies in this movie? The 3 mercenaries? The 2 guys on the boat who just disappear? Ben, the parachuting boyfriend? And Billy, who comes back to life because this movie's afraid of having a sad ending because, oh my god, a character was killed by a dinosaur in this dinosaur movie! There are just too many missed opportunities that make this movie feel pointless. Like, Ellie Sattler is back, but Laura Dern's contribution to the movie is next to nil. She saves the day in a very unearned fashion by making a phone call off-screen to call on the Navy. Like, there's no substance to this. Her only other contributions is some nostalgia for the original movie, and her and Grant reminiscing about raptor-based trauma.
Alan! Alan!
That dream is one hell of a dumb scene, but my issue with the raptors speaking is more that it adds nothing to the movie. Like, they make a huge deal out of the raptors being able to communicate and how smart they are, and Billy even 3D prints this nice raptor vocal box or voice box for Grant, but Grant's use of it at the end of the movie defies all logic. Because the way that scene plays out, it looks like the raptors are either gonna leave them or slaughter them mercilessly. But Grant taking out this vocal cord or voice box or whatever it is, and then making raptor sounds, if those raptors are as intelligent as they're made out to be in this movie, I feel like they would have been outraged at this impersonation of them, at this cultural misappropriation. And that they would have murdered them even worse for Grant pulling this stunt. It's stupid. Equally stupid and meaningless is how the Kirbys are essentially kidnappers, but the movie paints them as good guys. Like, I'd be pissed if someone was like, hey, you wanna go rafting this weekend during the day? And I'd be like, yeah! And then I get there and it's this big boat during the night and a Spinosaurus attacked us. Like, that would be very frustrating for me. But Grant doesn't seem nearly angry enough. The only time he does show that anger is with Billy when he stupidly steals the raptor eggs.
Did you steal raptor eggs? As far as I'm concerned, you're no better than the people that built this place.
This conflict would be better if the movie devoted more than 5 minutes to it before Billy sacrifices himself just to make Grant sad.
You know what the last thing I said to him was? I said, you're as bad as the people that built this place. Which wasn't true.
Yeah, and you know what else isn't true? Any of the emotions in this scene, because like I said before, Billy survived his ordeal because Jurassic Park 3 is just too scared to say anything meaningful. And that makes it feel just too different from its predecessors. However, we've got a paradox because Jurassic Park 3's first strength is how different it is, which starts with the decision to have most of the set pieces occur during the day. You can see the dinosaurs much clearer, which is not always good seeing as the animatronic work is a step down, but there's something about watching the characters be attacked in this brightly lit plane at breakneck speed that is wildly entertaining. But what I think this set piece does even better is highlight how these characters are trapped in the jungle. There's a different type of tension when you're watching dinosaurs plowing through trees, or a battle between two dinosaurs in the middle of the jungle while characters are desperately trying to survive. And the way these set pieces are set up by director Joe Johnston is a major departure from Steven Spielberg. Instead of slowly building tension, Johnston goes for a more popcorn movie style, which results in some memorable tongue-in-cheek moments. It's not just all jungle, though. This movie has a raptor attack that occurs in an InGen facility that has a surprising amount of world building for a movie as superficial as Jurassic Park 3.
This is how you make dinosaurs?
No, this is how you play God.
This leads to a fun and frenetic attack that starts in the facility and moves out to the jungle. Director Joe Johnston and the writers deserve credit for being goofily creative rather than trying to imitate Spielberg's method of tension building. However, I would say this scene's buildup actually approximates Spielberg.
Oh my God. It's a birdcage.
This is a very well executed scene. It's by far Jurassic Park 3's most suspenseful and atmospheric scene. It feels well thought out, which isn't surprising considering it's one of the only scenes that was always present in all iterations of the script. It's just really fun to see an attack from a flying dinosaur. Such a good addition to the series. One change to the formula that was harder for me to accept back in the day was the Spinosaurus replacing the T-Rex. I hated how the T-Rex was dispatched so easily in this movie. It just felt pointless because the Spinosaurus to me felt like a diminishing return on the T-Rex. But now I can kind of see it from another angle. I mean, the Lost World's usage of the T-Rex was already starting to feel a bit derivative. And when you watch the Jurassic World movies, you can tell, even if you like those movies, that they have this weird hero worship of the T-Rex that can get kind of cringy. So it makes sense that Jurassic Park 3 went a different direction. The Spinosaurus in this movie acts more like a slasher movie killer than an animal, and this pays off in the climax. That scene relies on this monster looking like a crocodile, being more feral than the T-Rex, and the fact that he uses his claws for actual evil rather than just looking like an evil cartoon old man. And speaking of evil, listen to that roar. But if we're listening to that, we're also looking at it, and the look of the dinosaurs is actually weakness number 2. For one thing, this movie uses way more CGI than the previous two, and this is early 2000 CGI, and because the movie's so brightly lit, it does not look natural. The dinosaurs either look out of place in the scenery, or they just move too fast, and it starts to look cartoony at times, especially when the raptors are running around. The animatronic work is better, but it's still quite a big step down from the first two films. The Spinosaurus animatronic just looks stiff, like it looks like it can't move naturally or articulate its limbs properly. And I never get that palpable sense of fear that I did when the T-Rex was sniffing at Lex and Grant. Those earlier movies had some of the same issues, but they nailed the cinematography there, shooting mostly at night, with creative camera angles and cutting at just the right moment before the illusion is lost. Jurassic Park 3 loves its straight-on-camera field of view and wants to just gaze at the dinosaurs lovingly in broad daylight, whether they are animatronic or CGI. This Pteranodon almost ruins the birdcage scene because I feel like it's channeling Dr. Hibbert from The Simpsons.
Well, I couldn't possibly solve this mystery. Can you?
Man, Golden Age Simpsons was so good. You should all go watch it right now. Actually, no. There's still more strengths and weaknesses to come. Stay on my channel, but like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this video. If it sounds like I'm dragging my feet, maybe it's because I can relate to strength number 2, Alan Grant, who drags his feet when he's being asked to come to Isla Sorna.
No force on earth or heaven could get me on that island.
Can you?
Grant feels like Jurassic Park 3 learning from the Lost World's mistakes. I felt Ian Malcolm was miscast as a lead there. He works much better as a supporting character. Grant, however, is a perfect lead. He's relatable, earnest, and we know him well enough that his interactions with Ellie Sattler are bittersweet as we see he's a man stuck in time.
You're still the best.
The last of my breed.
That sense of him being a relic of a bygone era comes into play again when he's delivering a lecture, and the students just want to know about Jurassic Park or the events at Site B.
Now, what John Hammond and InGen did at Jurassic Park is create genetically engineered theme park monsters. Nothing more, nothing less.
I was kind of surprised that we had this scathing rebuke of John Hammond in a movie that doesn't aspire for any depth. Don't get me wrong, they're not really developing Alan Grant's character here. Jurassic Park 3 is more about just slightly contextualizing his character.
Did you read Malcolm's book?
It seemed like the guy was kind of high on himself.
Well, it's two things that we have in common.
And Grant is the perfect lead for this movie. We don't need crazy depth, we just need a character we know and that we like, and who can contrast with the obnoxiousness of the Kirbys who kidnap/employ him.
Will you tell your wife to stop making that noise? That is a very, very bad idea.
But just because me and Alan are on the same page in terms of how annoying the Kirbys are, it doesn't make them any less annoying, hence why they're weakness number 3. Now, I don't actually hate the Kirbys, because they do tone it down as the movie goes on, particularly Amanda, and all of the characters are useful at different points. My problem, though, is the movie can't quite figure out what tone it wants with these characters. Like, take this supposedly touching moment.
It's not Ben, Paul. It's Eric. He's out there all by himself.
But its impact is muted by the over-the-top histrionics that Téa Leoni displays just moments ago. Yes, that's her boyfriend skeleton, but the way the scene plays out, it feels like dark comedy, and so the emotional beat 30 seconds later is unnatural and completely predictable at the same time. Everything about these characters is predictable. Paul and Amanda getting back together was written in stone the moment we learned they are exes, and the only way this movie knows how to communicate this is to keep showing Amanda gazing at Paul like she sees him in a new light. And as for their son Eric, he's not that bad. He's cheesy, but nothing he does is as lame as the Unix system from Jurassic Park, or God forbid the atrocious gymnastics from The Lost World. But the thing is, those scenes were late in their respective movies. The kids were given time to develop. Here we see Eric parasailing, and then the next time we see him, he's dressed in a ghillie suit like he's a hardened soldier, and the movie has the audacity to have this exchange.
This is T-Rex P. How'd you get it?
You don't want to know.
I'm willing to believe that this kid was able to get T-Rex P, even though I think that's borderline impossible, because where and how would he have gotten it? Like, did he just find a puddle of its pee and put it in a jar? Did he wait till the T-Rex was peeing and then go under it to catch it in the jar? Which begs the question, do T-Rexes pee standing up or sitting down?
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know? Like, yeah, you can say that, but Grant would immediately be pressing him like, no, seriously, how did you get this T-Rex pee? I'm really curious because this is one of the biggest revelations I've ever witnessed, and I was there when John Hammond showed the world real dinosaurs for the first time. But using sophisticated scientific methods to extract mosquito blood from fossilized amber to get dinosaur DNA and then clone dinosaurs is freaking elementary compared to this inexperienced kid just somehow getting T-Rex pee. And also, he just happens to have a raptor claw. Like, how the f does he get these things?
You don't want to know.
I think I could have tolerated this if we got to see Eric to act like a kid for just a little bit before seeing that he designed his own camouflage uniform, knows how to collect apex predator urine samples, and that he's got himself a claw from maybe the only creature clever enough to have gotten T-Rex pee as well. I hate when kids are written this annoyingly overcompetent.
Mom, I've been alone in a water truck for 8 weeks. I think I can manage the next 2 minutes without you.
Man, every joke that I feel like I've shown a clip of from this movie is like the lowest hanging fruit possible. Like, I want to know who actually laughs at this stuff.
You don't want to know.
That line was actually kind of funny that time. And also, who actually is still enjoying me reusing the same joke over and over?
Alan!
Oh, thank you. That's why I love Alan Grant and why he was a strength in this movie. And the pacing is falling apart in this video, but maybe that's me being like symbolic of strength number 3, which is this movie's pretty well paced. Like, I mean, all my issues so far have kind of been along the lines of this is generic or this is cliched. But is that really an issue? Because Jurassic Park 3 knows exactly what kind of movie it wants to be. It just wants to get these characters on the island, unleash dinosaurs upon them, and then let the chase begin. Honestly, if this movie tried to address my complaints and add in deep philosophy and themes and more character development, I'm not convinced that would help the movie. That's why I'm kind of shocked that I used to hate this movie, because yes, it's dumb. Yes, it kills the T-Rex right away. Yes, its characters are paper thin. Yes, its plot is basically non-existent. But it's so breezy. It's such a harmless movie. Who could hate a harmless movie? Oh God, don't say—
You don't want to know.